Thank you for your extreme patience. We are finally ready to begin our joint committee with Committee on Public Safety and Intergovernmental and Military Affairs and our friends from the Committee on Education. It is surprisingly 3:15 in the afternoon on this March 22nd, Wednesday in room 225. This hearing is being streamed live on YouTube. If we have any kinds of disasters, we will post a notice as to when we're going to reconvene. Because of the hour, we're going to limit testimony to 1 minute for each individual. First up on this agenda is House Bill 262 HD1 relating to education. On our testifiers list, we have Kelly May Douglas from the Department of Defense, maybe joining us via Zoom. IT, anyone from DOD?
He's here. I asked her to start her video.
Okay.
Good afternoon, chairs and members of the committee. I just Kelly May Douglas with the U.S. Department of Defense, and I am standing on my written testimony. Thank you.
Good support. Thank you, Kelly. Keith Hayashi from the Department of Education, or his representative.
Good afternoon, Chair Okai, Chair Kidani, and members of the committee. Ken Kakis with the Department of Education. The department does stand on this testimony with comments. We did just want to point out and wanted to say that we wanted to align our testimony with Complex Area Superintendent Bob Davis and Complex Area Superintendent John Erickson, pointing to the Military Interstate Children's Compact as an entity that is tasked with working with the military and school districts on topics like this, and that they may be more appropriate venue to have this type of discussion. Ready to answer any questions right now.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Myung Oh.
Good afternoon. Chair Wakai, Chair Kidani, members of the committee, Myung Oh here on behalf of the Military Affairs Council. Maureen Chang supported this measure. Really appreciate scheduling this bill. We do understand that as part of change in station that they do require a lot of the challenges of easing into new school, new state, new friends. So we do appreciate our continued conversation on this measure with the DOE and State School Facilities Authority. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Malia Suchia has indicated she might be here, but has submitted testimony in support. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on House Bill 262? Members, questions? No? Okay. We're going to break briefly prior to taking the vote. Thank you for your patience. We're reconvening this joint committee. The two chairs have conferred, and noting that there is already efforts being done through the military compact, we would like to defer action on this measure, and hopefully that compact will come up with some clear guidelines on how to deal with this issue, and we can revisit this issue next year. With that said, we are adjourned with our 3:15 agenda. We are now convening our triple joint committees on public safety, intergovernmental and military affairs, and our friends from the Committee on Education and our other friends from the Committee on Higher Education for this 316 agenda. There is one bill on this agenda that is House Bill 562 HD1 relating to permits. On our testifiers list, we have Don Chang, someone from DLNR.
Good afternoon to all the chair, vice chair, and committee members. I'm Gisela San Andres with DLNR Engineering Division. We stand on our written testimony and support the amendments made to HB 562 HD1 that allows the developments to comply with the National Flood Insurance Program. I am available if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Chad Keone Farias.
Hello, chairs, vice chairs, members of the committees. Scott Fuji, on behalf of our executive director, Chad Cuny Farias. We stand on our testimony in support, providing some comments, just noting that if the bill was to go through, SFA does not have the current internal capacity to manage an internal permitting process. It's something that we would have to look at to fully utilize the exemptions noted in this bill. We're looking for questions.
Great. Thank you for joining us, Scott. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on House Bill 562? If not, members, any questions?
Oh, yes, Scott, can you come back, please? So can you share with us what the problem is, why this bill might be needed?
So I believe the genesis around this is with some of the permitting concerns that have held up other state projects, especially around things that are generally considered, I guess, repetitive, and looking at a way to expedite kind of the permitting process for that. However, exemption from the permitting does not exempt you from the process. Obviously, the liability issues with compliance would still need to be addressed. And so while the permit, is my understanding, would not need to be received from the permitting office of the county, compliance would still have to be shown with all the requirements. And essentially, we would have to do that either internally or find an external partner who's willing to write off on that.
Okay, so currently now, these permits take about how long?
I don't have an exact estimate, but I think it varies based on the permits and the work being required. So,
have you folks met or tried to deal with the counties on this?
We're currently in talk with the counties on some of the projects that the SFA is currently working on, namely around the preschool expansion work, and they've been willing partners to the table for some of that work. I think if we're talking about broader permitting, this might be something else that would have to be addressed.
Right. I mean, the governor seems to be working with doing stuff with the mayor, and the mayor wants to expedite. So is this not something that can be worked out?
It's possible. I mean, it's something that we're still looking at.
Right, because you folks have to go through this whole internal processing anyway. Okay, thank you.
Members, any further questions? Okay, if not, we're going to break briefly prior to taking the vote. Thank you for your patience. We're reconvening our triple joint committees on this one bill, House Bill 562. The three chairs have conferred, and we would like to defer this measure. And the rationale is that we want to see SFA work with the counties, come to some type of resolution. And if there is no happy resolution to it, then we will revisit this measure next year. So that's
also UH is not present, and if it's so important,
we agree. So we would defer this measure. Adjourn. Thank you for your patience. We are ready to convene the Joint Committee on Public Safety, Intergovernmental and Military Affairs, and our friends from the Committee on Higher Education on our 317 agenda. Just want to make notice that we have to be out of here. Well, that clock is wrong. At 4:30, so we have 15 minutes to get through these three measures. So if you could keep your testimony, hopefully less than a minute, that would be greatly appreciated. The first measure on this agenda is House Bill 1129 HD1 relating to incarcerated women. On our testifiers list, we have Superintendent Hayashi has submitted testimony in support. Tommy Johnson. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Artis Eichenberg. Thank you. Lauren Walker.
Stand on our testimony in support.
Linda Rich. Thank you, Linda. Kat Brady has submitted testimony in support. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on 1129? Yes.
Chairs, vice chairs, and the committee's Angela Melody Young testifying in strong support. So the purpose of this this act is to help the Friends of Restorative Justice to implement educational programs. And the educational program will help about 20 people to get their GED. And so, you know, there are several theories of public safety. This can be accessed from the Minnesota House research by a legislative analyst. So you can read this document. And it says several theories of public safety support these policy methods of enforcing laws and punishing offenders. The theory of incapacitation suggests that holding certain individuals in jail or prison will prevent those individuals from committing new crimes. Rehabilitation theory suggests that directing offenders to certain treatment or training programs will change that individual or keep him or her from offending again. So when we look at these theories, yeah. So in closing, it's good to support the rehabilitation theory for women. Thank you.
We agree. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on HB 1129? If not, members, any questions? No? We're going to move on to the next measure, that is House Bill 1131, relating to gender parity in programs for incarcerated women. On our testifiers list, we have Tommy Johnson. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Candice Park from the Attorney General's Office. Thank you, Ms. Park. Michael Golachu might be joining us via Zoom.
Not present on Zoom, Chair.
Thank you. Linda Rich, Women's Prison Project. Okay, that's all I have is those indicating they'd like to testify. Is there anyone else wishing to make commentary on House Bill 1131?
Hawai'i Friends of Restorative Justice also supports it.
Anyone else? Okay. Come on, Angela.
Aloha Kayaka, Chair, Vice Chairs, and the committee's Angela Melody Young testifying on behalf of CARES. So we are in support of the study and for the UH Manoa Thompson School of Social Work and Public Health. And we just wanted to comment that by providing resources and investing in like the rehabilitation theory, you're providing opportunities for people to reintegrate into society. Yeah, so thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you, Angela. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on House Bill 1131?
Being that I am.
Do you want to step forward?
Oh.
We're happy to hear from you.
Okay. Being that I have gotten an early max and I am in. Oh no. I'm gonna stand up.
No, well,
okay.
We can get you on camera if you're
okay.
down.
Here we go. Okay, here we go. So my name is Alicia Kuhio Kalani. I'm in support of actually any bill that will help our women who have been incarcerated. I have been one, and I have been in the system for over 20 years. I just got an early max, and I am getting my bachelor's in social work degree in May. So I believe that ike, knowledge, any kind of education is important for us to thrive in the community. And I'm happy to let you guys know if you have any questions, ask away.
Congratulations, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Is there anyone else wanting to share their stories on 1131, the benefits of this program? Members, questions of those who joined us? If not, I'm going to hand it over to my co-chair to take on the last bill on this agenda.
Okay, we're on House Bill 67. HD1, making appropriations for the Pu'unokua program, appropriates funds for 3 full-time equivalent positions for the Windward Community College's Pu'unokua program. Let's see. Testifiers. Let's show anybody. Okay. Tommy Johnson, Public Safety. Thank you. Artist Etchenberg. Thank you. Kate Brady. In support. And Lauren Walker.
Yes, we support it.
Thank you. We do. Anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? Yes. In support? You can stand.
My name is Ryan Cody. I'm a student at Women Community College. I was also a student in Lauren Walker's 1139 program. I work for Pool Women Now, and it's helped me stay out of trouble. It helps me be a role model to some of the other girls who come out, and I meet with them on a regular basis to kind of keep us on the right path. And I feel like if they lose that, then they'll just end up right back inside. You know? It's been nothing but a positive change for us. And as we go through it together, it just shows others, you know, we go from just 3 of us to 9 of us. Before you know it, there'll be a whole bunch of us. You know?
Thank you.
Can we get your name? Sorry, I didn't catch it.
Moving
Thank you for joining us.
Okay, no one else wishing to some members, any questions? Hearing no questions? Okay, we have 7 minutes.
All right, thank you for your time. Thank you for hearing our bill. So I just want you to know, currently I'm a counselor at Pu'ohono program, and the women's prison is my area. Whether this is with me or someone else, it needs to continue. We have, out of 189 prisoners, 91 are students from our college. They are so encouraged by school. We have lower write-ups. We have less, disturbances. They want to be in education. It is nice to see firsthand, I'm in there 20 hours a week, to see these women have faith in themselves and try and turn their lives around. And if this program doesn't go forward, then that will end. And I hate to see that happen. So please, please, please support H Bill 67. It'll help a lot of women not be back in prison and set goals for themselves in life. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What's her name?
Oh, Tamala.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else wishing to testify? Angela?
Aloha chairs, vice chairs, and the committees. Angela Melody Young testifying on behalf of CARES in strong support. I would just like to revisit the theories again of the theory of incapacitation. And also the theories of rehabilitation, right? So public safety policies supports these theories when enforcing the law, right? Whether to punish or to provide rehabilitation resources. And the measure that we are looking at today is to provide rehabilitation opportunities, educational programs, resources for those who have offended. And so that by providing the resources, you're giving opportunities for those who have offended the law to confront their trauma, bring healing and restoration to their injustice, and then to help them to become positive contributors to society. So therefore, we support this measure. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Okay, we know the testimonies. We will break for decision making. Oh, members' questions? Questions? We'll break for decision.
Thank you for your patience. We're reconvening the joint committees for decision making on this 317 agenda. The first measure on this agenda is House Bill 1129 HD1 relating to incarcerated women. We like the efforts by the House, but we think the Senate has a much nicer bill, and much more fuller bill and more succinct bill. So we'd like to replace the contents of this measure with the language from Senate Bill 710. And all of us on the various committees heard the measure and the testimony and are very familiar with the contents of that measure. So that's the recommendation and discussion.
So with
amendments. If not, consider, yes. Oh, I'm sorry, that's correct. We improved it twice, so we're going to do it the SD2 version of Senate Bill 710. So sorry, just to make it clear, we're going to replace the contents of this measure, House Bill 1129 HD1, with the contents of Senate Bill 710 SD2. Any discussion?
Still a House Bill
1129?
Yes.
1122. Yeah. With SB 710 SD2. No discussion. Senator Elefante, I vote yes.
Okay, Chair's recommendations to pass House Bill 1129 with amendments. Chair votes aye, Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Fukunaga.
Aye.
Senator McKelvey.
Yes.
Senator Awa.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, recommendations adopted.
Same recommendation for the Committee on Higher Education to pass with amendments. Chair votes aye.
Chair votes aye. Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Fukunaga.
Aye.
Senator Kitagaran.
Yes.
Senator Fabella excused. Which is adopted, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
The next measure, House Bill 1131 HD1, relating to the gender parity in programs for incarcerated women. Likewise, we think that we had a very full and robust discussion on the Senate version of this bill and would like to put that bill into this one. So we're going to replace the contents of HB 1131 HD1 with the contents of Senate Bill 711 SD2. Members, any discussion? If not, Senator Elefante, I vote yes.
Chair's recommendations to pass HB 1131 with amendments of the 5 members present from PSM. Any no votes? Any votes with reservations? Hearing none, Mr. Chair, the recommendation is adopted.
Thank you.
Committee on Higher Education, same recommendation, amend HB 1131, House Draft 1, with amendments from the Senate Bill 711 SD2. Chair votes aye.
Chair votes aye. Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Fukunaga.
Aye.
Senator Kitagaran.
Yes.
Senator Fabella excused. Measures adopted, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And finally, for the last item, Senate Bill 67, House Draft 1. Recommendation is to pass with amendments, with technical and non-substantive amendments for the purpose of clarity and consistency. Members, any questions? Hearing none, the chair votes aye.
With 4 members present, are there any no votes? Measures adopted, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
For members of PSM, same recommendation to pass this measure with stated amendments. Technical, non-substantive amendments. Not Senator Elefante, I vote yes.
Okay, with 5 members present from PSM, any no votes or votes with reservations? Hearing none, Mr. Chair, recommendations adopted.
Thank you. We are adjourned.